Hey guys, it's Yorkie here and welcome to the channel for episode 24 of the in-depth track guide series for Assetto Corsa Competizione. In today's episode we'll be taking a look at the Red Bull Ring, which came with the GT2 DLC pack. We'll be breaking down each individual corner, giving you all the knowledge and tips that you need in order to help improve your lap times. If you want to see the other in-depth track guide episodes, make sure to check out the card at the top of the screen there, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future episodes. The Red Bull Ring can be found in the Styrian Mountains of Austria and has a circuit length of 2.68 miles, which equates to 4.32 kilometers. The track features 10 corners with a medium to high downforce setup and soft to medium suspension. Your key overtaking spots are going to be turns 1, turn 3, turn 4 and turn 6. The pit entry can be found after the second to last turn on the right hand side of the circuit. You will need to brake slightly on the pit entry slip road in order to make that right hander on the inside of the pit entry barrier, and then again slow down just before you get to the gantry in order to make it to the pit speed limiter line at the appropriate speed. The pit exit line is just after the traffic lights at the end of the pit lane. Disengage the limiter here, accelerate out of the pit lane, and once again you'll need to slow for the right hander on the inside of turn 1 here in order to avoid clipping the wall and damaging the car. Make sure you stay to the right of the pit exit merge line as you then accelerate up towards turns 2 and 3. The braking zone for turn 1 starts at the 100 meter board, however some cars may allow you to brake marginally later than this. You want to be straddling this curb on the left hand side as much as you possibly can to open up that first turn, getting hard on the brake, shifting the car down into second gear. Our apex is going to be midway through the corner, brushing our inside right hand wheels on the red and white curbing that is here at the apex. It's absolutely crucial that you avoid the yellow sausage curb there on the inside because it will bounce, unsettle the car and completely ruin your exit. Get the car straightened up and get hard on the power as soon as you possibly can, because getting a good run off of this corner is going to be absolutely crucial leading onto the longest straight on the circuit. Providing you keep two wheels on the red and white serrated curbing, you should remain within track limits, so don't be afraid to go over and straddle that yellow sausage curbing that is there on the outside in the dry conditions. It's not going to unsettle the car too much and it's going to allow you to carry a higher apex speed. In the wet conditions, however, you want to be staying off of this curbing in order to not avoid losing any traction. Turn 2 is barely a corner that we even need to worry about, so we're now into the braking zone for turn 3. Despite the higher speeds, we can still brake at the 100 meter board and make the corner due to the uphill slope on the approach to the corner. Try and straddle as much of the curb as you possibly can on the left hand side of the track here in order to open up the turn, shift the car all the way down into first gear and aim to hook up a mid to late apex. You don't necessarily need to touch the curb here on the inside, you just want to be getting as close to it as possible and focus on straightening up the car for the exit. You'll once again want to be avoiding that yellow sausage curb that's there on the inside of the corner, and you want to be picking up the throttle just before you actually reach this apex point. Focus on trying to keep the car as straight as possible and managing that traction. Don't be afraid to use the curbing here on the outside once again, making sure that you keep at least two wheels on the red and white curbing in order to stay within track limits. As this is a crucial traction zone, in the wet conditions you'll be wanting to avoid the curbing entirely. For turn 4 we'll once again be braking at the 100 meter board and we'll be getting as far left as we possibly can, straddling that red and white curbing that's there on the outside on the approach to the corner. Turn in reasonably late with a nice flowing arc through the turn and hook up a mid to late apex. You're going to be in either first or second gear depending on your car's gear ratios. There's a slight bit of camber here, the curbing is flat here on the inside, so make sure to get your right hand wheels up over that curbing in the dry conditions. However, do take caution with it in the wet. As you start to pick up throttle and continue through the turn, it may cause oversteer whilst up on that curb. For the exit, we again want to be managing the power and getting a good translation of traction as we drive off of the corner. We've got just beyond the red and white serrated curbing a blue painted tarmac strip with gravel beyond it. Use the curb and that bit of tarmac in the dry conditions. Obviously avoid dipping your wheels into the gravel as that will hurt your momentum off the turn, and then in the wet conditions you want to stay clear of both in order to give yourself the best drive off the turn you possibly can. Turn 5 is effectively a continuation of the turn 4 exit, so we're now into the braking zone of turn 6. Place the car as far right as you possibly can over the red and white serrated curbing on the right hand side of the track here, brake at the 50 meter board and immediately start guiding the car in towards the inside of the corner. We're going to be looking to apex midway through the turn in second or third gear depending on the car's gear ratios. It's a smooth flat curb with some grasscrete there on the inside. Feel free to use this in the dry conditions and progressively pick up the throttle. Do take caution with it in the wet as it may cause some oversteer. On the outside of the corner we've got a serrated curb with blue painted tarmac and gravel beyond it. Make sure to use this available runoff towards you, providing you don't dip the wheels into the gravel. Track limits is not going to be an issue. You're going to be running into the gravel and hurting your momentum before you breach those. But as always, stay clear of the painted tarmac and that red and white curbing on the exit in those wetter, rainy conditions. Keep the car as far right over the curbing and that painted tarmac strip as you possibly can, and then just as the gravel ends on the approach to turn 7, that is when we're going to get onto the brakes. There's going to be a short, gentle squeeze on those brakes as we once again guide the car into a mid-corner apex. We'll be in second or third gear depending on the car's gear ratios. Curbing is exactly the same as it was on the previous corner, smooth, flat, with some grass creep there on the inside. Get your left wheels up on this as much as you can in the dry conditions, however, do take caution with it in the wet. Feed the power in fairly aggressively and let the car go way out onto the curbing on the exit of turn 7 here, which immediately feeds into turn 8. The two are pretty much connected together. Keep the left wheels of the car on that red and white serrated curbing in order to avoid breaching track limits, and keep the right-handed wheels out of the gravel. In the wet and rainy conditions, you'll be wanted to stay clear of this curbing entirely. Coming into turn 9, the penultimate corner, we once again want to be putting our car as far over the left hand side as we possibly can over that red and white curbing. Brake at the 50-meter board and immediately start turning the car in, shifting the car down into third gear and hooking up a mid-corner apex. Get the inside tyres up over the curbing and on the grasscrete on the inside. Do this in both the dry and wet conditions. Try to be confident on the exit, get punchy with the throttle and let the car run out wide, making use of that runoff area. Make sure that you keep at least 2 wheels on the red and white serrated curbing to stay within track limits, and in the wetter and more slippery conditions, be cautious running out wide over this curbing here, probably avoid it entirely. On the approach to the final corner, you'll still be on that exit curbing. Bring the car back so the left-hand wheels are on it, not the entire car, because once you get to the braking point at the end of the red and white painted tarmac runoff area, the floor and splitter of the car will bottom out on that serrated curbing. So make sure it's just your wheels that are on it. Drop the car down into second gear and make sure you apex mid-corner. Unlike previous corners at this circuit, you should be able to hammer that inside yellow sausage curb, and you should be able to do this in both the dry and wet conditions. Get hard on the throttle as soon as we hit our apex, let the car run out wide and make use of the available runoff to you. Keep at least 2 wheels on the red and white serrated curbing to stay within track limits, and for the wetter conditions you want to stay away from the curbing entirely. With the breakdown of each corner complete, let's go ahead and piece it all together with a demonstration lap. With this guide complete, I just want to highlight down in the description below are my Track Titan affiliate links. There's also a 30% discount code for your first month subscription as well as other benefits. Linked in the top right hand corner is a video card taking you to my video explaining what Track Titan is, how to get yourself signed up using those affiliate links and the discount codes, and showcases how to read the telemetry and use the tool in order to get those last few temps out of your lap times. If you do pick up Track Titan, make sure to compare yourself against my lap that is here in the guide. Just search for Yorkie065 in the community tab of the reference lap time. I hope both that and this guide have been useful to you. Leave a like if so. Let us know down in the comments below how much this guide has helped you improve your lap times. Consider subscribing to the channel, and thank you very much for watching. Until the next time, have fun, stay safe, take care.